Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex topics, unpack them, and give you the essential insights you need. Today, imagine your web browser not just as a window, but maybe as your smartest, most proactive assistant. We're diving into how this futuristic vision is fast becoming real, exploring how browsers are evolving into the central UI for AI, especially in the enterprise. Our mission: trace its evolution, unpack what it can do, and help you grasp the strategic importance for your business.
Yeah, what's really fascinating here is we're seeing a real fundamental paradigm shift. Browsers are moving way beyond just being passive display tools. This isn't just some minor update. It's about making digital interaction genuinely conversational, collaborative even. And for organizations that really harness it thoughtfully, well, this offers a significant competitive edge. It lets your people shift from just doing tasks to actual innovation.
Okay, so a significant evolution then. We're used to browsers just being, how we access the internet, right? But this term AI native browser, that signals something much bigger. What exactly are we talking about when we say AI native?
Right. An AI native browser is fundamentally built with AI as a core feature. It's embedded from the ground up. So instead of just fetching and displaying web pages, they integrate AI assistants or agents. These agents understand natural language. They can predict user needs and, crucially, proactively perform actions. Think of it like a browser designed to, well, think alongside you. It transforms browsing into an interactive conversation. We've seen descriptions of Perplexity's new browser, Comet, for instance. They call it a thought partner. It automates tasks, summarizes content right there in the browser. It's a prime example of this new model.
That really does change the workflow, doesn't it? Moving from just searching for answers to actually delegating tasks to the browser itself. So how did we get here? I mean, browsers have competed on speed, security for decades, but not really intelligence.
Yeah, historically, they were neutral gateways. That was their job. The real turning point, the inflection point, came in the early 2020s. That's when advanced AI, especially large language models, LLMs, really took off. Tools like ChatGPT, which most people access through a browser, got users very accustomed to AI-assisted work within that environment. But now the integration is much, much deeper. AI is at the core architecture, and the AI can actually control browser actions. That's what we call agentic browsing. The browser company with Arc, they even talk about a vision where you just tell the browser what you want, and it browses for you. It effectively bypasses you having to manually go through search results.
And thinking about the enterprise context, employees are juggling dozens, maybe hundreds of web apps. How does this AI over GI shift play out there? What does that really mean in practice?
It's actually quite similar to past shifts we've seen. Think about moving from command lines to graphical interfaces, GUIs, or from desktop software to mobile apps. Now it's AI over the GUI. The browser becomes this smart intermediary layer across all your web-based systems. It puts a cognitive assistant over your CRM, your ERP, your intranet tools, everything. It completely redefines the UI paradigm because it embeds this conversational agent of AI right into the main tool we all use for digital services. It sort of collapses multiple interfaces into one intelligent conversation.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of the what. But for many people listening, the big question is how? How does this sophisticated intelligence actually work behind the scenes? What makes these browsers tick differently?
It's a good question. Most modern AI browsers, they actually build on existing engines like Chromium. That gives them compatibility, which is important. But then they add this crucial AI layer on top. So Perplexity's Comet, for instance, uses Chromium, but its innovation is that integrated agentic AI assistant. The core components usually include a few key things. First, there's an LLM-based AI assistant. This is the brain powered by large language models. You access it via chat or maybe a sidebar. Think Microsoft Edge's Copilot panel or Opera's Area. It understands commands like summarize this page or find me flights under $500. And it gives intelligent responses. Then there's a context manager. This is fascinating, actually. The AI maintains awareness of your open tabs, your browsing history, maybe preferences. It gives it a kind of memory for your session. Comet's AI, for example, can tailor responses based on what's in your other open tabs. That's quite different from stateless search.
Right, it
Yeah.
actually remembers what you were just doing or looking at.
Exactly. And then, maybe the most powerful part is the action execution engine. So beyond just answering questions, these browsers can do things. They perform actions by simulating clicks, filling out forms, other manipulations. Perplexity's Comet really highlights this. They claim its assistant clicks, types, submits an autofill so you don't have to. Imagine asking it to book a restaurant. It could navigate the site, fill in the details, confirm the booking, all while you watch.
Wow.
And finally, crucial for enterprise, integration APIs and plugins. AI browsers need to connect securely with internal systems, your CRM, databases, whatever. This happens through APIs or plugin frameworks. It lets the AI query internal data without compromising security. Microsoft's Bing Chat Enterprise, for instance, is specifically designed so data doesn't leave the organization. Future versions might interface directly with Microsoft 365 data via the Graph API. The architecture is usually modular, so you can add capabilities like connecting to a corporate calendar.
So putting that all together for an enterprise, what does it look like in practice? And given how many different systems large companies use, how hard is it really to integrate these without just adding another layer of complexity or, worse, security risks?
Well, in an enterprise setting, these browsers aim to seamlessly blend that conversational layer, the knowledge layer, which is web content plus potentially your internal data, and the action layer. Integration definitely adds complexity behind the scenes, no doubt, but the goal is to reduce the user's perception of that complexity. Security and permissions are absolutely paramount. You have to ensure the AI only does what the user is authorized to do. And actions need to be logged for compliance and auditing. That's critical. The underlying principle is this synergy. LLMs for understanding, web automation for doing, all wrapped in that familiar browser interface.
Okay, this really sounds like a new browser war is brewing.
Yeah.
But this time, it's not about speed or security features. It's about AI capabilities. Who are the main players leading this charge right now?
Indeed, it is a new browser war. The landscape is evolving incredibly fast, and this shift is so fundamental that we're seeing some really aggressive moves. You mentioned Perplexity bidding for Chrome. That underscores the huge strategic value everyone sees in owning this new AI-first interface. So, key players right now. First, you have Microsoft Edge with its Bing Chat Copilot. It's a prime example of a mainstream browser integrating AI, leveraging their OpenAI partnership. Copilot sits in the sidebar, does summaries, content generation, and their Bing Chat Enterprise version prioritizes privacy, no data saving, no training on user data. That makes it very appealing for corporate use. Microsoft's reporting strong engagement too, like a third of Bing users in Edge using Chat daily.
Okay, so Microsoft is definitely in the game. What about Google? Chrome has massive market share.
Right, Google Chrome dominates, but they've been, let's say, slower to integrate AI directly into the main browser UI itself. Google's strategy relies more on its search generative experience, SGE, those AI summaries and search results, and the Bard chatbot, which you access separately online. There are rumors of deeper integration, sure, but as of mid-2025, nothing's really deployed by default in Chrome itself. That Perplexity bid highlights Chrome's value if Google ever had to divest it.
Interesting. And Perplexity itself, with Comet.
Yes, Perplexity's Comet. Launched in July 2025, it's arguably the most advanced pure AI native browser right now. It uses Perplexity's own answer engine based on LLMs, and it can do complex multi-step web tasks autonomously, like booking that restaurant we mentioned. It's still in early access, though, and it's premium price $200 a month for Max subscribers. So very innovative, but still nascent, sometimes makes mistakes.
And others. Arc, Opera.
Yep. The browser company's Arc, particularly with Arc Max features. Known for its slick design, Arc is adding AI like Ask on Page, smart tab naming, often using OpenAI models. They're working hard on an agent that can surf the web for you, presenting info directly. Cutting edge, but maybe more consumer-focused for now. Then Opera with Opera One and Aria. Aria is their built-in AI assistant, also using OpenAI tech. Their vision includes a browser operator agent for taking actions like booking travel. Uniquely, their developer version can use locally running AI models, which is a big plus for privacy-focused enterprises.
Local models. Interesting. What about Brave? They're known for privacy, too.
Exactly. Brave added an AI summarizer and its assistant, Leo. And Brave uniquely lets users route AI requests to local LLM models using a llama. That offers maximum data control, which is very attractive for some enterprises.
And finally, the elephant in the room, maybe. OpenAI itself.
Right. There are reports, like from Reuters, mid-2025, that OpenAI is close to releasing its own browser, built-in chat interface, AI agent plugin support. Given ChatGPT has, 500 million weekly active users, this could become a major player very quickly. Their aim seems to be shifting browsing towards interaction within a chat interface, less clicking around.
Wow. So it's incredibly dynamic. Incumbents adapting, startups disrupting. Businesses are definitely going to have more choices than ever when looking at these tools. So let's bring it back to the listener. What does this all mean for you, the business executive, the learner? Beyond the cool tech, what's the actual value proposition here? Why should you care about adopting AI native browsers?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Why invest time and resources? The benefits are pretty compelling, and they hit directly on productivity and decision-making things executives care deeply about. First, there's the unified interface and reduced friction. An AI-native browser turns your browser into a single place to get work done. Employees don't constantly switch tools. The AI assistant is just there, always available. This streamlines workflows. It collapses complex multi-step processes into single conversational requests. Imagine asking, gather the latest sales figures and client feedback from our CRM and summarize it. Bang, done. It really helps reduce that tab overload feeling.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Second, improve speed and productivity, and importantly, reduced cognitive load. Automating repetitive stuff is the obvious win. Summarizing long documents instantly, filling forms, scheduling meetings much faster than a human. Microsoft found users with AI search or chat found answers faster, were more engaged. But the deeper insight here is how it frees up mental bandwidth, cognitive load. Your people move from being digital button pushers to actual strategic thinkers because the browser handles the tedious cross-application legwork. It's not just doing things faster, it's enabling a higher level of thinking across your team.
That's a powerful distinction. It's not just efficiency, it's effectiveness.
Exactly. Then there's personalization of experience. These browsers learn. They learn from user behavior to personalize content and suggestions. Comet, for instance, learns locally from your browsing habits. It suggests relevant follow-up info, remembers context from past queries. It's like having a digital research assistant who actually knows your job, proactively finding relevant documents, maybe even adjusting its communication style based on your role. And cross-application automation. This is huge for enterprise value. Forget rigid RPA bots that only do predefined tasks. An AI browser can act like a generalist agent across multiple web apps. It could read an email instruction, cross-check something in the finance system, log into the ERP to approve a transaction, all from understanding a natural language request.
That sounds almost like science fiction, but it's becoming real.
It is. And finally, quantifiable efficiency gains. While we're still gathering long-term ROI data, early adopters are reporting substantial improvements. Microsoft studies suggest maybe 20–30% time saved on tasks like drafting emails or searching for information. Think of a financial analyst pulling key numbers from 10 different financial statements. An AI browser might summarize that in an hour, saving almost a full day's work. Error rates can drop. Training time for new hires might decrease because the AI can guide them through complex systems.
Those are undeniably powerful benefits, huge potential impact. But for a large organization, isn't there a risk? A risk of over-reliance, maybe losing that critical human oversight if tasks become too automated. How do you find the right balance?
That's a really crucial point, and we need to talk about the roadblocks. But first, let's just quickly look at some specific examples across different industries. It really shows how versatile these tools are and how they enable better effectiveness, letting users ask those complex, cross-cutting questions they probably wouldn't even attempt manually, like, what were our top 5 customer complaints last quarter? And tell me if they were resolved.
Right. Seeing it in action makes it concrete. So let's look at how AI-native browsers are being used right now. Where are they making a difference?
Okay, well, they basically act as this intelligent layer over any web-based application, so they're incredibly broadly applicable. Let's start with knowledge workers and researchers. Think consultants, analysts, lawyers. Research and synthesis is their bread and butter. An AI browser could scan dozens of market research sites, extract the key trends, put it in a summary report. In minutes, not hours or days, we're seeing lawyers use them to summarize case law, even draft initial contract clauses. It dramatically speeds up legal research. Or take a marketing team, right? Instead of manually digging through competitor websites, they could just ask the browser. Summarize competitor X's features, pricing, and main customer complaints from reviews. Get a comprehensive report back quickly.
Okay, that's clear for research-heavy roles. What about customer-facing roles?
Yeah, customer service and sales. Support agents using web-based ticketing systems. They can get AI suggestions for answers, pull relevant knowledge-based articles on the fly. As an agent reads a customer's query, the AI sidebar could automatically summarize troubleshooting steps from the internal wiki. That cuts down resolution time significantly. For sales reps, prepping for client meetings becomes much faster. Ask the browser for the latest news on the client's company from external sites. Then, if it's integrated, ask about open support tickets or pending orders from the internal CRM, all in one place. This unified view saves massive prep time, makes interactions much more personalized and informed.
And operational roles.
Absolutely. Operations and even cross-industry collaboration. Professionals monitoring inventory or shipments on web portals could ask, any shipments delayed more than 5 days? The AI parses data, maybe across multiple tabs or systems, and gives an answer. Or potentially even takes action, like reordering a part from an approved supplier based on company rules. And because the AI can talk to multiple web apps, it helps bridge gaps between teams. A non-technical manager could ask about critical bugs affecting a project launch. The AI could pull data from Jira or whatever bug tracker you use and present a simple, understandable summary.
That's a powerful range of real-world applications. Looking across all these industries, where do you see maybe the most unexpected value emerging? Or perhaps the areas where businesses are least prepared for this kind of shift?
That's interesting. I think the unexpected value often comes from democratizing access. Access to data, access to complex task execution. Suddenly, employees who aren't technical experts, who don't have specialized training, can interact with systems that used to require IT help or deep knowledge. That's huge. Where are companies least prepared? Often it's data governance and change management. How do you ensure data integrity when an AI is interacting with it? And how do you train your workforce to effectively collaborate with an agent, not just use a tool? That requires a different mindset.
Right, the human element. Okay, so AI native browsers sound like a potential game changer, but you mentioned roadblocks. No new tech is perfect. What are the key hurdles enterprises really need to be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely crucial to understand the limitations for successful implementation. It's not all smooth sailing yet. First, technical limitations. Current AI models aren't infallible, we know this. They can hallucinate, generate incorrect information, sound confident but be completely wrong. Early tests of Comet, for example, showed it sometimes just made stuff up. Performance can be an issue too. Comet was noted as running slower than standard browsers sometimes, had compatibility issues with some Chrome extensions, so users must double-check critical outputs. You can't just blindly trust it yet.
Okay, so reliability is still evolving.
Yeah.
What else?
Data privacy and security concerns. This is probably the biggest one for enterprises. When sensitive company data gets processed by AI, where does it go? Often to cloud servers. Enterprises need guarantees, like those offered by Bing Chat Enterprise, that data isn't stored or used for training models. Regulated industries, finance, healthcare have strict rules like GDPR, ITA. They demand careful data handling, sometimes even on-premise or zero retention solutions. Perplexity's policy of retaining user inputs and outputs, that definitely raised some flags for corporate use.
A major hurdle indeed. Keep going.
Over-reliance and human oversight. There's a real risk users become too dependent on the AI. They might overlook errors or subtle biases. If an AI summarizes news for an executive, the way it frames things could inadvertently introduce bias. It's not neutral. Users need training on critical thinking, when to trust the AI, when to verify. It's an assistant, remember, not an oracle.
That training aspect sounds key.
Definitely. Then there are legal and compliance challenges. Could an AI inadvertently break terms of service by automating actions? Could it violate laws? Transparency is also vital. Should people always know if they're interacting with AI-generated content or an AI agent? Probably. And ensuring compliance with emerging AI regulations like the EU AI Act means needing ways to track and audit AI decisions. User adoption and trust. People are used to their traditional interfaces. Convincing them to switch to trust an AI assistant requires demonstrating clear, tangible value. If the AI browser feels too complex, or if it makes mistakes early on, users might just go back to their old habits. An IBM tester using Comet mentioned feeling oddly disoriented not using the familiar Chrome Omnibox. Building that trust takes time and effort.
Yeah, change management is never easy.
And finally, scalability and cost. Running these large AI models isn't cheap. It can be resource intensive. Frequent use could lead to significant API costs. Ensuring low latency when you have thousands of employees using it simultaneously, that's a scalability challenge. Local models help with privacy, sure, but they might strain the resources on the user's own device. So there are trade-offs everywhere.
You mentioned hallucinations and those early Comet performance issues. For a business leader listening, trying to justify investing in this, how do you balance that promise against these very real immediate limitations? Is this a wait-and-see technology, or is it more of a start experimenting now imperative?
Look, for executives, AI browsers represent both this huge opportunity and a significant strategic challenge. They directly impact productivity, decision-making speed. An executive using an AI-enhanced browser could get insights on demand without always needing to delegate to an analyst. That accelerates decision cycles. It really is like giving every single knowledge worker their own digital assistant. It amplifies team effectiveness. It lets people move from just execution to actual innovation, and that's a critical competitive differentiator today. So beyond individual productivity boosts, organizations gain broader operational efficiencies. You free up employees for higher value work creativity, complex problem solving. It can lead to more consistency in how knowledge is shared. Externally, maybe improved customer satisfaction through faster, more personalized service. But adopting this in a large organization is definitely not just install and go. The hurdles are real. Integrating with legacy systems, setting up robust governance and compliance, like logging AI actions for audits, managing the workforce impact, potential job anxiety, addressing security risks like prompt injection where bad actors try to trick the AI, and providing the right IT support and training. So given how fast this space is moving, I'd say it's less wait and see and much more start experimenting thoughtfully now. The competitive advantage will definitely go to those who figure out how to harness this effectively, even with the current limitations.
Right. What's fascinating, despite all those challenges, is that the trajectory for where this is heading seems remarkably clear. The future innovation path.
Absolutely. The future outlook points towards browsers becoming truly proactive assistants. Agent-first navigation could become the norm. Instead of you searching, you just delegate objectives. Plan a team offsite next month in Chicago. Keep it under a $5,000 budget. And the AI browser handles the research, the options, maybe even the booking.
And genuine assistant.
Exactly. And the UI paradigms themselves will evolve. Forget just tabs. Think unified conversational workspaces, multimodal interactions, voice, maybe gestures becoming more common. We'll see deeper integration with operating systems, blurring the lines between the browser and the OS. AI assistants might just live everywhere, abstracting away whether a task uses a web app, a local app, or an API call. It just gets done.
Seamless integration.
And this will spur new applications and services. Think AI-driven content personalization, where websites actually optimize themselves for AI consumption. Agent-to-agent interactions, your AI negotiating pricing with a vendor's AI bot. Automation of really complex workflows, potentially disrupting entire industries like robotic process automation. This inevitably leads to market disruptions. It could reduce the relevance of traditional search engines. It could create new browser leaders if startups like Perplexity or maybe that rumored OpenAI browser really gain traction.
It's chefs potentially.
Huge. And finally, the AI models themselves will just keep improving. They'll get more efficient, more trustworthy. They'll gain better long-term memory, acting like a persistent, personalized companion, further amplifying what each individual can achieve.
So it really isn't just about doing the same things faster. It's about enabling people to do things fundamentally differently, operate at a higher level of thinking. And that brings us to an important question for you, the listener. How will your organization adapt its own digital presence, its services, to be effectively consumed by these emerging AI intermediaries? Think about how your company's information, your processes, will be accessed and acted upon when AI becomes the primary interface for many users. That's definitely a provocative thought for us all to consider. Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.